people tend towards picking colors they like, not necessarily colors that fit. So for many startups trying to build a brand, most of the time there's no careful consideration about the choice of colors or choice of fonts that are used, in creating, the brand from the start. So sometimes when I do a brand audit, I see a lot of things. I see different colors being used, different fonts being used, different sizes being used, and there's such, a lot of inconsistency in the look and feel of the brand. And in order to establish a brand that really stands out, especially from the start, because an overhaul of a brand that has already gone on for years can, be very difficult to correct, especially if they have already built a large following and audience. But at least have a few choice of things that you use consistently over time. And that might mean your choice of colors or your choice of fonts, and you stick to a few. Now, when it comes to choosing brand colors, I find that people tend towards picking colors they like, not necessarily colors that fit what the brand stands for. For instance, if you have a brand that is fixed on agriculture, just because your favorite color is purple doesn't mean you now want to adopt purple as part of the brand colors, right? So most agrarian brands are most likely going to adopt green, brown, light cream, and let's say black and white, and of course the neutral, which is gray. But if you find a brand that, because they feel, okay, it's an organization, let's adopt blue. Blue is good, but it's more of a corporate brand that, evokes trust, evokes a calmness, evokes a level-headedness, and you'll most likely find such brands, in the finance or business sector or banking sector, or a company that wants to ensure that their audience has a level of trust for their services, right? And that is why when you look at First Bank, you find that they adopted the color blue, white, yellow, and black. Although this varies, when you also look at Moniepoint, you find that they adopt the light blue and white as part of their brand colors. And of course, you have white, black, and gray, which are neutral colors. So in other words, what I'm saying is you have to choose a color that works for the brand and has brand longevity. That means even if there is a revamp or, an adjustment of something regarding the brand identity, it doesn't totally change that your audience do not recognize you after a rebrand. For instance, Coca-Cola over the years has had a lot of logo upgrades, but one thing has remained consistent: their brand colors. You have red and white, and now you have gray for, let's say, Coca-Cola Diet and all the different variations of Coca-Cola that we have. But those choice of colors have stayed consistent and have not changed over the years. And so when you think of festivities, when you think of Christmas parties, most people cannot think about such parties without Coca-Cola. And so they've been able to build a very large audience over the years because their choice of color, in spite of the changes for the brand identity, those two things, especially the font, the logo font, and the colors, have remained consistent. So consistency is key, especially at the start. You might think, oh, I don't need all the structure and all those things, but it's very important that you have at least some key things established for your brand, especially your brand colors. And so that will go a long way ensuring that your audience stay with you, in spite of the tweaks and changes over the years.